So today I am going to take a session on Microsoft Excel. It is just a basic session which will show you some of the features of Microsoft Excel so that you can start playing with the tool. So I have already opened this Microsoft Excel in my system. So you can go to your start menu in your laptop or computer and you can type in there Microsoft Excel and you can open it. So these are the sheets that are there. So every new page in the Microsoft Excel can have is called a sheet, and you can have n number of sheets. So if I click on plus, it will create another sheet. I can also name it as uh, project 1, and if you right click on this option, you will get a number of options that you can do. So let us go to the first menu of Excel, and in the file menu you will find a number of options. In the new menu you can create a new Excel. Simply you can similarly you can go and save as or print or share, or this is one of the good features. You can export the Excel to your PDF format, which is a more readable format. Now their home is the default menu that will be selected when you open your Microsoft Excel. So let me create a small table and then I will show you what are the features available in Microsoft Excel. So what I will do is I will create a name, ID, name and marks column. ID will be 1, 2 and 3, and I will create a border for this. So it doesn't look good like this. It should have some borders. So I will go and select this option. So if you select this option, you'll get large number of options to create a border. You can also create a thick border. You can create a normal border. So I will go for a normal border, or you can create only a right border. So not the entire cell will be bordered. So what is cell in Microsoft Excel? So this particular cell is called A1 cell because in the column section it is A and in the row section it is 1. Similarly, if I go to this cell, it is B3. So this column section is B and this row section is 3. So these are how we can identify cells. So I will select this option and I will click on this particular border. So you see that the entire table is having borders now. The header of the table should be distinct. So I have selected the topmost row and I will go to this bucket full of color and I can select any options from this one. So let me select this one, and then I want to make the heading bold. So I have selected on bold. Let me select some other color so it is more highlighted. So I will select the entire thing and I will click on bold. So the entire header becomes bold. I can also change the color of the header by going into the A letter and selecting any of the colors. So let's keep it red for good viewing. So these are some of the options, and you can also go and select these particular columns, and if you select an I it becomes italics, and if you select underline you will have all the values underlined. So these are some of the options that you can select, and these are normal Microsoft options where you can change the font of the letters in the Microsoft Excel. So this purely depends on your requirements. So you can also change the sizes of the data there. Next, coming back to this, coming to the right, you can, if you select in this one, as the name suggests, align left. So if you select on this one, it will align to the left. Entire data will be to the left, and this is center, and this is the right. So right is the default, as you can see. If I go and select merge and center, if you click on OK, entire row becomes one, and you will have only one value. So this one is something that you can try. I will undo the changes. So I have pressed on Control Z. Now going ahead, these are some of the options that I will show you later on, where you can, these are some of the essential features in Microsoft Excel, but I'm just showing you the basic features. So here you can also go and insert. So if I select any of the cell and go and select insert rows, so there will be a new row selected before the cell. And if I select on insert column, so a new column will be selected before where I was present. So I was here, and if I again select insert column, then again a new column is inserted. Now I can also delete that particular column. So if I select on this particular column, I have just gone to B and clicked on B, so entire column is selected, and I will select delete sheet columns. So this column is selected, deleted, and similarly I can delete this column as well. So let me delete this particular row as well. So delete sheet row. Now there is some mathematical operations that you can do in this particular uh, sheet, that is sum. If you click on sum, it will show you the sum of 3 to 1, that is 6. You can find the average, that is 3, of all the numbers, that is 1 2 3 6. The average is 3. You can select the count. So total number of numbers were 1 2 3 6 3 were 5, so 5 is displayed there. You can find the maximum, so 6 is the maximum, so it is displayed now, and minimum is 1. So these are the options. Now let me put in some values. Why I am putting good bad, you will see shortly. So you see that in intelligent it is not showing properly. So what you can do is, either you can click on this one and you can right click on B, format cell, go to align, wrap text, and it will be shown here. Or you can just go to this particular cell, that is the border of B and C, and you double click. To double click, the cell will be set to the entire length of the word. Next, I will show you how filter works. So you can go to this funnel symbol and select on filter. From here you can select any of the values like 1 2 3 4, and if I select 1, then only the columns, only the rows having 1 will be selected, and I can go back and select all, so everything I can do. Now going to the insert, so here most of the options you can try yourself, but I will show you one option that you can definitely try, and it is very useful, is the graph option. So if I select on this one, a graph is automatically generated, and it is a vertical graph. I can also go and select a horizontal graph. So the values of this graph are pulled from the table. So the first one will be having 1, that is similar to the first value, then 2 3. So you can have more complicated graph in this way. Second good option here is, if I select on bad, and you see here you have a search option. So basically this search option comes from review section, where you can find your spelling, research, and thesaurus. So if I select on bad and select on bad and click on thesaurus, so you will get a number of options that you can use. Bad can be evil, wicked. So these are the options that you can use. Other functions that are very basic to Excel is something like now if I want to undo this, undo all the changes. And by the way, if you want to format it, so if I select one of the particular rows and select the color to be this one, so what is the difference between these two things is this will change the color of the particular word, but this will change the color of the entire cell. So if I select this and I have painted the entire column with dark gray, and if I select the entire thing, you have to put your cursor here and select everything by pressing on your mouse. And if I click on this brush, and then wherever I put this will format it in the same way. Like if I select this, if I select name and if I click on the brush, and if I click on tool will also become red. So in this way you can format your cells in a particular order. So that is all for this time on the Excel. Please leave your comments in the comment section if you have any doubts or you want me to take another session on this one. So thank you very much.